say that you've made your pitch and wonderful news, you've achieved a placement, whether it's on radio or broadcast or in the newspaper or even in a blog. Now, I'm sure your client will be elated. And what I'd like to know is, what's the next step after you've achieved the placement? Do you contact the reporter?
Yes. What I normally do is to send them a thank you note. It's a great article. We really enjoyed it. And maybe even give them a call. Why not? I mean, they take great pride in their work. And then I would get, say for example, if it came out in a newspaper, I would get copies of the newspaper, and you can scan the article and put them on the client's newsroom. You can also put links back to the online placement. Then if it's video, then you want to, of course, get your video clip. Radio is kind of hard to get the actual clip, so maybe you can just put the time it appeared.
Sure.
And just let your clients know
information about the listeners, that kind of thing.
Yes,
yeah.
And how many, the size of the station, how many listeners, how many viewers, if it's a print. That's the traditional way to do it. Many people are doing different things now, but those things have been successful. And then you want to also make sure that to really get the good out of it is making sure all of the your client's stakeholders know about it.
Oh, okay.
So if your client has customer base, the board of directors, any other groups that are your client's stakeholders, I would make sure that they also see your client in the news. Maybe you might even want to have a special little newsletter or
email
something.
blast.
Yes,
sure.
Exactly. And put it up.
We were in the Wall Street Journal kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. And so when you get something like that, a great placement, and you've got wonderful placements on your record, what does that mean for a client? How do you demonstrate that value for them? And what kind of feedback do you tend to get?
Well, one thing that really is important to know is that sometimes clients think that if they get on 60 Minutes or they get on a news show or in the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times, that all of a sudden their phone's going to light off the hook and they're going to get business just rolling in.
Right.
Well, it doesn't really happen that way. Mostly, and clients really need to understand that it's about positioning. It's about distinguishing yourself. It's about establishing yourself as an authority, as an expert. And those clips themselves become valuable because then they can be used to show how credible you are. And it's all about building your own portfolio, your company resume, establishing that third-party endorsement, which is very important. And I know now things are changing, and it's very important for customers to be able to see, again, another third-party endorsement, because with the internet and with the social media, nowadays customers listen to themselves. They do reviews. They're constantly blogging and providing their own evaluations.
They're doing online search.
Yes,
right?
And so this is just one more piece of the pie,
right,
to show that as your company is of importance and it's distinguished from the rest of the pack.
Yes, I see. So it may not lead to, say, immediate sales, but it's a cumulative event.
Exactly. Exactly.
And well, I know that a lot of PR professionals are very careful to counsel their clients that, placements are not guaranteed, that we always try our best. But when we get those placements, and we're demonstrating value to them, is that also a little bit tricky? Does it set expectations, or do you think it's just kind of the whole part of the PR marketing mix? I've always felt like that was kind of a difficult line to tread, because you're doing your very best and you can still not get placements, and you can do very well and get them, and sometimes it just depends on the news cycle.
Oh, absolutely. And that's a very, very disheartening thing, is if you do a really good pitch and you have everything and you still don't get interest.
Because there's that other big thing happens
that
week.
Can be, if it's like an event, certainly if you have a major
blizzard or
a catastrophe, it's going to knock all the reporters off of your story, and they'll be wanting to chase that one down. Right. But if it's something that's got shelf life, then you can certainly go back. But the main thing that I found, the clients want to know why it didn't happen.
I see.
So then you can ask the reporter, what about it would you want to know that we didn't provide?
Okay.
What else would you want to see in the story? And then report this back to the client. You also might want to report to the client, here's what we were competing against this day. There was this event, this event, this event, and look at the news, what's going on in the world. this story, while it's a great one, maybe now's not the right time. But I always keep a record, a log of all the phone calls I made and what the reporter said, so that I can go back and tell the client, well, there wasn't any interest, and here's what they said.
Okay.
And here's why.
Okay.
That way you'll have
You can justify
justification.
So tell me, in all your years of pitching, and what is the most surprising thing you've learned?
Well, sometimes for me, is that when I think a story is a slam dunk, it's a winner, it doesn't. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And then some stories I thought were duds, they love. So, you know, that to me has always surprised me. So, and then a lot of times this is one thing that really amazes me. I'll say, well, there's one more reporter on the list. I don't think that reporter is really, I don't want to call that one. He doesn't seem like he'd be very interested. Oh, well, I'll go ahead and call him up. And that's the main one. They'll be the one the most interested. So sometimes, you know, your instincts are to be trusted, and sometimes they're not.
Well, that's really fascinating.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today. It was great talking to you and learning more about what it really takes to pitch reporters and bloggers.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it. I hope I've helped people.